Hello, Namaskar viewers. I am Sanjeev Pandya welcoming you to the weekly show, The Business Talk with AJ, right here on your favorite TV channel, ITV Gold. This show, The Business Talk, in which we bring you the latest business stories from USA as well as from the world. That means international business stories and the stories that you perhaps missed it. So it's all in all a great show for you to follow up business stories and the other stories. And that's a courtesy of Mr. AJ Kumar or Sai CPS Services. Sai CPS Services, a full-fledged accounting firm located in the state of New Jersey, multiple locations. They've been in business for over 25 years and they can help you with any of your personal accounting needs or even corporate taxation accounting needs, bookkeeping, payroll services, full-fledged accounning firm with on-hand trained and experienced and knowledgeable CPAs, as well as the entire staff is ready to help you. Whether on phone or Zoom or any kind of consultation is possible. Their phone number is 908-380-6876. That's the sciencecpsservices.com for you. And Mr. AJ Kumar, who's with Science CPS Services, CPA and MBA, brings a wealth of knowledge not only from taxation but as well as business also. And I'd like to welcome him to the show. Sir, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you, Sanjeevji. I appreciate that. Absolutely. I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to a wonderful show.
That's right. October 15th is around the corner. So
absolutely. So October 15th is the deadline for all personal tax filer as well as the corporate tax filer who filed an extension before April 15th.
Correct.
They must file the taxes. This time it's a little bit delayed. But October 15th technically is the deadline for all extension filer if you have not filed your taxes.
So then you're going to be a little relaxed after October 15th.
Absolutely. I mean, the blessing is we have 3 locations, 9 CPAs, 44 accountants. So we are large enough to take care of all your small business need. That's the tagline we use. So we are blessed in doing what we do and we enjoy doing what we do.
All right, talk about blessed and enjoy it. Let's lead to the, let's go to the lead story of this week's show, and that's the stock market. Stock market had been down for a number of days. We talked about it in our previous shows, but today, we're bringing a different angle. Stock market is slowly rebounding. Slowly by slowly, it's coming back. It's a long way to go. It has crossed as of now 30,000 mark. So that is a good sign. But stock market is coming up and it rallies more than 1,500 points in just 2 days.
Absolutely. So this it's been really erratic. I mean, for weeks we have been talking about stock market going down, stock market being the lowest in several years. And now suddenly over a couple of days, we have stock market going hundreds of points up. Dow Jones going over 30,000. So the things are coming back to what used to be normal. The stock market has always come back. I mean, it goes down and then it slowly comes back. I think we are in an upward cycle, but we advise all the investors to stay cautious. We are not out of weed yet. It's a positive sign. It's a good sign. It's a blessing. But at the end of the day, be very careful where you invest, what you invest, and only invest what you can afford to lose.
Have you sent that message to Gautam Adani and Elon Musk, who actually are in the richest men in the world list?
Absolutely, and this is a big news. So Adani lost almost $10 billion, and Elon Musk lost almost $14.5 billion. But a lot of their stocks were in their own company. So the reason Elon Musk lost $14.5 billion is because Tesla's stock price have gone down. So when we talk about the market, it's not necessary that all the stocks are coming back. Certain stocks remains down. Certain stocks are doing better. So the technology stocks are doing better than what they were doing earlier. Biotech sector is still doing pretty good, but be extremely careful when you invest into the stock market. It's very erratic right now.
A very good message. All right, as we are, in this week of October, Elon Musk in his office, he had one date circled, October 17th, because October 17th was a date where his case was going to be in the state of Delaware about Twitter, because originally he was going to buy Twitter. Then he said that Twitter is not giving him complete exact numbers of bot accounts and everything else. So then he backed out of the deal, used that excuse. That excuse is not really a valid excuse. So in the state of Delaware, the court hearing was going to take place October 17th. Before that, what does Elon Musk do? Just a day or two ago, he announced that now he is ready to buy Twitter.
Yes. So he was planning to buy Twitter, and the Twitter stocks were off the roof. Then somehow he made the decision that he's not interested anymore, and he found some excuses around it. But now, with the court date looming up, he is coming back saying that he wants to buy Twitter again. And based on his announcement of or the interest of buying Twitter, the Twitter stocks are doing much better now.
Exactly.
Suddenly,
Twitter stock went up 22%.
yes, absolutely. I mean,
So,
that's a lot of money. I
yeah.
mean, suddenly 22% higher than what they used to be.
But 22% higher, but still Twitter stocks is in $10 range or so, and he's offering $54.20 per share.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why, see, people are not sure if the deal is going to go through. If people were sure, it will be probably higher than 22%. But knowing Elon Musk, knowing the personality, knowing that he can change his mind anytime, the investors are cautious.
Yes.
They're optimistic,
Absolutely.
but they're still cautious about it.
Yeah, so finally Elon Musk has said that he's going to buy Twitter, but you know what? I am going to wait till actual time and date he signs the contract and it's announced that he bought it. Till
Well,
then, you
by
never
then-
know with Elon Musk.
You are right. And that's why it's only 22% higher.
Yes.
But by then, when the actual paper is signed and when people like me and you find out, it's already too late. The
Yeah.
stock price have already gone up and it's going to come down actually. Typically what happens when you have the IPO or such an announcement, the stock price will go up expecting things to change.
Yes.
So the stock price will be suddenly very high. After the actual event, after the actual change,
Actually comes
the
down.
stock price are suddenly supposed to go down slightly,
Yes.
not going up in the near future.
Absolutely. Let's see what happens. All right. So that is the good news. You know, the rich people, they make all these rich deals and they continue to do that. That's what they are, rich people, and they continue to add money into their portfolio. And now let's talk about poor people or middle class people. When they are ready to buy the house, they have the money, but they really can't buy the house. Well, they can buy the house, but they are stepping it back because the interest rates are so high. Mortgage
Absolutely.
interest rates are high, and this is something that we haven't seen in a number of years.
Absolutely. So we have talked about the mortgage rate in our last episode as well. Mortgage rates are very high, probably the highest in last 12, 13
Yes.
years, over 6%. Mortgage rates are expected to go even higher in November, especially if the Fed increases the rate again. We are expecting the Fed to increase maybe 50 basis point, if not 75 basis point. Based on that prediction, we are expecting the mortgage rate to be going higher. Based on the high mortgage rate, based on the affordability being less, a lot of house prices are going down. In one of the episodes earlier, we mentioned based on July data, the housing price went down by 1%. Again, in August, housing price went down by another 1%. That's a downward trend. So the housing prices are not going up. There is the demand is slowing down, and partly it's because of the season. We have seen the housing prices demand comes up during the summer, especially in September, October. The housing price starts to fall down slightly only because not as many people are interested. The school system has been set up. The school going kids have already decided. The parents have already decided where they want to settle down. And if you have not decided, if the parents have not decided, they are waiting on the fans to decide in next March, April. So typically, the winter season is slow season for the housing market. That combined with the high interest rate, the high mortgage rates creates a situation when the housing prices are going down month over month.
Absolutely. This this is going to continue for some time.
Absolutely. That's what it
because
seems
if
like.
Fed is going to raise interest rates sometime before the end of the year, one more time
Yes,
in the year
that's what we are
2022,
expecting.
it says this trend is going to continue. That's the word in the mortgage industry. And according to Gallup poll, Americans are overwhelmingly pessimistic about the U.S. economy as they face down a historically bleak housing market along with high levels of inflation and declining economic growth. So let's see what happens. So hold on to it, your purchase of a property, house next, and let's see what happens. And it's not only in the U.S.
Yes, yes.
Let's
Yeah.
add a point that it's not
Absolutely.
only in the U.S. UK is also having the same problem.
Absolutely. So the last data we saw, Sanjeevji, that the UK inflation is over 10%. The energy rates are 40% higher in UK. The alcohol, tobacco rate is 11% higher than what they used to be. So that's astronomically high, 40% increase in the energy rate in the winter season. I mean, that can crush any economy. So it's not, as you rightly said, it's not just the US, it's all over the world. That everybody is suffering the same pain with the inflation, with the higher interest rate, with the less availability of the cash. When the interest rates are high, the cash is not as easily available. It's more expensive to borrow the money.
Yeah, really. I don't know. I think, we're going to have this kind of setback news, business news, when it comes to housing market in US and UK for some time. That is going to be happening.
I agree with
All right. Earlier we talked about stock market, and you also said that, investors should remain calm and focused. If you are an investor, and if there's a one person that you should be taking tip about investing, is Warren Buffett.
Absolutely. No
Warren Buffett is genius when it comes to an investment in the stock market. Obviously that nobody can advise better than him. He has made fortune by doing that, and he's an extremely successful businessman and a very polite gentleman also. The reason I'm talking about, obviously he's reaching to an age where any day that he may announce a retirement or stuff like that, and Warren Buffett's successor goes out and buys a $68 million stocks for himself.
I think it's a planned purchase. Berkshire Hathaway, the stock prices have been going down. Able, the next successor to be planned. He is investing a lot of money into their own stocks, buying back the stocks, showing the investor confidence that I have confidence in this company. 68 million is a lot of money. By having 68 millions of your own company's purchase, Able is trying to show to the other investors that I'm the right candidate. I believe in this company. I can take this company forward. I mean, as you were saying earlier, the other contender that we had is one of the Indian guy.
Yes, I definitely want to bring out at that point the other in the line of successors. In the companies like that, they have usually 4 or 5 individuals in line of successors. There's a gentleman named Ajit Jain, who's from New Delhi. He's been with Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett for a number of years. He oversees Berkshire Hathaway's insurance operation.
Right.
Now, obviously, this huge company like Berkshire's insurance can be very, very difficult to manage, but he's been doing a phenomenal job. Warren Buffett has spoken very highly of him at a number of events, and he's very much impressed. There was a report earlier, when I say earlier, maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, that Ajit Jain is the top candidate to be Warren Buffett's successor.
Absolutely.
But now Abel has come in, and let's see what happens. But Ajit Jain will continue to see insurance operation if Abel is able to take over Berkshire Hathaway. But mark my words, in the future, Ajit Jain could become Berkshire Hathaway.
I have no doubt about it. Ajit Jain was the number 2 highly paid executive in the whole company. His compensation last year was like $19 or $20 million.
Exactly.
With this $68 million purchase and counting the stock dividend, even Abel's purchase, Abel's compensation, yearly compensation will be around 19 million, similar to what we have for Ajit Jain. But Ajit Jain was promoted, was shown as a successor for the longest time.
Correct. But right now, Abel is on top of the list, and let's see what happens. Anything with the Berkshire Hathaway always makes it a news. And when there is a news like that in the world of business, guess what? We bring it to you in this weekly show, the Business Talk, with AJ, with Mr. AJ Kumar of Science CPA Services, and myself, Sanjeev. It's time for us to take a short break, but when we come back, I assure you that we got very interesting business stories from the world for you. So please don't go away. Welcome back to the second half of the Business Talk with AJ, a weekly show right here on ITV Gold. The show is brought to you by Science CPA Services. Like I say, a complete accounting firm when it comes to personal and corporate taxes. They can help you from A to Z if you want to start a business. What kind of business entity is right for you? They will advise you, they will guide you and suggest you. When it comes to personal taxes, they will look into your tax returns to make sure that you file your tax return rightfully. refund is not the only thing that you should be looking into it. The main point is to file your taxes right, to report your income correctly, and have your expenses ready, and take all the deductions that are available to you. And that's why Science CPA Services, this accounting firm, is known to its clients to give them the best service, and they can also help you out either by phone, through Zoom call, or through a personal meeting. You can reach out to them at 908-380-6876 or visit their website, which is sciencecpaservices.com. Mr. AJ Kumar of Science CPA Services joins us in this show every week and brings the business angle from his side to let us know about the business stories. But before we go into the stories, let's talk about something really important for our viewers. One is money, and the other one is gold price.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Money when
gold.
it comes to money, what's the Indian rupee rate? Because they want to make sure कि अभी क्या rate चल रहा है पैसे भेजने.
So the Indian rupee raise is highest. US dollar is very strong in the market right now. It hasn't touched 82, but it's not too far from 82 either. I mean, we have seen 81.9, the highest rate so far in the market, and it can easily cross 82. I mean, it's a psychological barrier only when it crosses to the next dollar, but US dollar has not been this strong. And you have to look at the whole world based on the Ukraine war, based on the problem in the UK that we were discussing in the first half. All these situations are creating the US dollar more stronger than what it used to be.
Yes.
The pound gets weaker,
Yes.
dollar gets stronger, and stronger dollar means more rupees you can buy from it.
Yeah, absolutely. A point to be noted here is that globally, all the developed countries' currencies
Right.
really declining. Dollar is getting stronger, but all the countries' currencies declining. And if you can look at the chart, so don't panic. Yes, this currency rate is very high, 81, 82.
That's right.
It's not a very encouraging news, but this is a global effect, and hopefully India will come out of it. Let's talk about gold price. Gold price goes up and down, up and down.
Well, it's supposed to be in the opposite direction.
Ah.
So when the dollar is going up, the gold price will go slightly down. So we are expecting the gold price to stay low or continue to go down slightly for next 3 to 6 months. The gold prices have never remained down. They will always come up. So we are expecting the gold price to start increasing towards the middle of 2023. But for next 3 to 4 months, the gold prices are going to stay low. They can go further lower after this whole season. The festival season is over. So a lot of people try to buy gold and jewelry during this season.
Yes.
After this season, the gold price will go further down. But they are expected to come back again in March, April of 2023. So, but just remember, in this show, we bring the news that you can use. So you have to know when the dollar is strong, when the gold price is low. This is the time when you need to buy the jewelry. If you have to plan something, this is the time to buy the gold. If you have to buy something from India, this is the time, because you can buy more rupees, more material from an outside country.
That's a very golden advice that you have given.
Absolutely. From a US perspective,
Exactly.
it's a golden opportunity
It's
for
a
people who are
golden
buying
advice.
internationally.
Right. Well, if you can give a golden advice to Mr. Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, known as Meta, it would be helpful, because for
Absolutely.
the very first time, ever since Facebook started, for the very first time in the Facebook history so far, they are laying off people.
Well, yes. So Mr. Zuckerberg in the report said that we will not be replacing people who are leaving Facebook. Facebook has been well known for hiring more and more people every year. Facebook has large staff and relatively very low revenue model. I mean, the revenue model is not self-sustainable yet. So for the first time, Mark Zuckerberg is coming up with new ideas, new plan, and is publicly accepting that they are not refilling the position for the people who are leaving. They are not increasing the staff, and they intend to do more work with the lesser staff. So it creates a message, it sends a message to the investor, to the shareholders. Now the company is thinking about the bottom line, the productivity as such.
The productivity, absolutely. All right, let's go to the next story. Kim Kardashian, I'm sure you must have heard her name. She is all over, especially when it comes to media in the US. And of course, she is an international celebrity. Kim Kardashian is a huge star, and she is definitely loaded. And when you are a huge star and when you have millions of followers on social media, on any platform that you take it, right? Obviously, someone approaches you to endorse their product, and you do that, and you get paid for it. But if you don't let SEC know, Security Exchange Commission, you could get in trouble, and that's exactly what has happened.
Absolutely, you're 100% right. So the problem is multifold here. First, she's a celebrity, so she has a lot of followers. So the responsibility increases when you are in such a position, when people are trusting you, people are trusting your words. You have extra responsibility to be careful as what you recommend. Second, it's not toothpaste she's selling. She's selling the security product. She's selling Bitcoin. She's endorsing a stock product that can really increase or decrease suddenly. So she is not a product. It's a security product that she is trying to recommend. And the problem is when you are recommending any stock, any security product, especially if you are being paid to do so, you must inform the general public that I received this much money to say this thing. So people can make their own informed decisions. She was paid $250,000 to endorse this product.
And she didn't report it.
And that's why she was fined.
And now she has ended up paying $1.26 million.
Yes, I mean, 1 million more than what she was paid for.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Once you get paid, you must report it. That reminds me, Elon Musk, if you remember, he used to tweet a lot about one of the Bitcoin currencies, right? But he never got paid, so he was out of trouble. But he really promoted that Bitcoin currency.
You have to know why he did that. So he invested heavily into a Bitcoin.
Correct.
And then he started promoting. So the price went up. Then he suddenly sold all of it,
exactly.
And then he started blaming, this is not good. But the good thing, the blessing in that case was for him that he was not paid for his advice. He was just giving advice as a general public.
He said, I'm buying this, I'm buying this, I'm buying this. It's a really good, it has a good future. People started to buy it. And when it really went up, right, he backed out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. He sold all of it.
All right, let's go to Europe. We're going to go to Europe and we're going to bring you this story. Eurozone inflation soars to a record 10%. You just mentioned earlier about UK.
So as we were discussing in the first half, it's mainly because of the energy crisis that the Europe is having, especially in the winter season. Now the energy prices are 40%, 43% to be exact, higher than the last year. So that's creating a huge impact on the bottom line inflation. Alcohol, I'm sure you want to know, is 11% higher year over year. Tobacco is 11% higher year over year. In total, the inflation is over 10% higher in European market.
You know, when inflation reaches in double digit like that, that's not a good sign.
No, it's not.
It
creates a lot of problem for people who are counting the money, who are trying to make the ends meet. I mean, people who are really, really rich, it doesn't matter to them. But people who are the bottom spectrum, they are the ones who get most affected.
It's not a good sign. It's a very, very disturbing news, when it comes to the economic and financial news out of UK, and that's why UK's Prime Minister Liz Truss has many challenges to overcome. Anyway, let's go to the next one. India breaks into top 40 for the first time.
Yes, it's a great news. It's a big news. India is one of the top 40 countries when it comes to the Global Innovation Index. If you look at the Asia, India is number 3 over there. So out of the whole country, and we have 200 plus countries in the Global Innovation Index, when you are innovating more product, more services, India is in top 40. So that's great.
That is interesting news. Now, AJ, if I tell you that India, what would be India achieve? How much dollar value in 15 years? What story would that be?
That will be the 5G story.
There you
Absolutely.
Go. Yes.
So the Prime Minister Modi is expecting large payback, and India has invested heavily into 5G infrastructure. And Prime Minister Modi is expecting large payback out of this infrastructure. And this is how it typically happened. And this is what the government's typical function is. When people like me and you cannot invest into infrastructure, government comes along, they invest billions of rupees, dollars into the infrastructure that pays by itself over the number of years.
So 15 years and $450 billion.
Absolutely. Government can afford to invest that kind of money.
I can't really wait to bring you the exact number, whether it's a 450 billion or 400 billion, 15 years from now in our show, The Business Talk with AJ. That's going to be interesting. All right, now, on a lighter note, let's talk about cricket. The reason we talk about cricket and the Bollywood sometimes in our show is because they both are heavy money spinners, believe it or not. BCCI is Board of Control for Cricket in India, is the richest cricket thing in the world, right? And Bollywood, that you know, that brings a lot of money when it comes to certain movies, and we'll be talking about that next week also. So here we talk about cricket because T20 World Cup in Australia is about to begin.
Absolutely.
And before that, India beat South Africa. India took the series actually. India took 2 games out of 3 games, T20 games against South Africa.
Absolutely. So if you remember, India won against Australia just a week or 10 days ago. Then India won against South Africa. Both of these series, India won 2-1. So India is ready to go into the World Cup. I hope we can work out some deal with Sri Lanka. I mean, that was terrible when we had the Asia Cup in cricket. Sri Lanka beat Pakistan, Sri Lanka beat India. But we are looking forward to a great, wonderful World Cup. Cricket is not about bat and ball anymore. Cricket is more about money than what you can imagine.
Yeah, Asia Cup we to yaad mat dilao. I know. It was very disappointing. Don't even remind me for that, because it was disappointing. And obviously India had all the chances. On the paper they look good. But when it comes on the field, even against...
There are days like that. I mean, I used to play cricket myself. I mean, it's been 100 years ago. But there are days when nothing works out.
I know. That's why I said that you look like Rohit Sharma's brother.
Absolutely, I do.
Absolutely. So you do have that face. But, you know, this T20 World Cup, everything is at very high stake. I mean, you talk about money. This is going to be one of the most watched
no doubt.
Sport events, right? Before or after Football Cup, Soccer World Cup, that's going to be taking place in Qatar sometime in November, right? So everyone's eyes on this T20 World Cup. And this is not only limited to only cricket playing countries. Now this is outside cricket playing countries. Also, this has generated so much interest. And the reason T20 brings in a lot of money also, because it's a shorter game. In 3+ hours, or maximum 4 hours is a lot actually, 3 to 3.5 hours, you could have game completed, which is equivalent to baseball game or football game in the US or basketball game.
Now I see they're talking about T10 now. There are a lot of games that are happening with 10 overs each, and that's amazing. I mean, 10 overs each means you will be done with the game in 2 hours. So that's the real game. Then you can sit together, watch a game, and I mean, watching a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
2 hours is the movie time.
Yeah, but T10, I don't think it's all right. T20,
we'll see.
up to T20
yeah,
is
we'll
good.
see how it goes. I mean, I had my doubts when they started at T20 as what can you really do. But now T20 is hot.
No, but if you make it shorter and shorter and shorter, you're going to lose interest.
Well, if you remember, one of the game that we had with Australia, that was 8 overs game.
Yeah, exactly.
And they made 100 runs, like 96 runs.
I know, that's a better comes in. But that's not the real cricket. I mean, real cricket is actually the test match, or even a one-day cricket, 50 overs, right? That is the real cricket. This is just a quick, okay, you have no time, we have no time, we're going to come in, we're going to hit balls, and we're going to make money, and we're going to leave. That's exactly what it is. Anyway, talk about cricket, and obviously we have to talk about cricketers. And listen, I'm telling you something very inside, news here that don't tell anybody, viewers. But AJ really likes Virat Kohli. He really makes sure there's a Virat Kohli story every other week in our Business Talk with AJ.
So there was a recent interview with Virat Kohli, and Virat Kohli has been promoting his restaurant and a lot of other ventures. So Virat Kohli brings in the story as which cricketer eats what. And he had this story that this cricketer eats ice cream with dal chawal.
Exactly.
Right? And
it's a Riddhiman Saha.
Riddhiman Saha.
The wicket keeper, Riddhiman Saha.
And he will have the chapati, the curry, the rice, and the rasgulla on top of it. I mean, not separately, and he will be eating everything together. But that's the story that we had about Riddhiman Saha that Virat Kohli brought out in one of the interviews recently.
This actually was while Kohli was promoting his latest venture called 1-8 Commune on YouTube. That's when he mentioned. But do you know why he brought this story up?
Probably because of his restaurant.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Exactly. He's opening his own
Absolutely.
restaurant
Yes.
right in Kishore Kumar's bungalows.
We brought that story.
Backyard, front yard,
Absolutely.
side yard, whatever you
Yes,
call that,
yes,
right?
yes.
So that's why he wanted to bring this story.
That's
That
how
if
it works.
Riddhiman Saha can eat dal chawal roti with ice cream, 2 scoops of dal chawal, something like that,
Absolutely.
right? And then a scoop of ice cream or rasagulla. That's how he
As
eats.
you rightly said, it's all about business. It's not the game anymore, it's the game of making money.
Correct.
The sooner you understand it, better it is.
All right. When you say it's all about business, you know, it has to be in our show, the Business Talk with AJ. This is the
Absolutely.
weekly show that we bring it right here on ITV. I want to ask you a question before before we sign off. Science CPA services. I know October 15th is a deadline. I want you to say something about Science CPA services. You know, with your payroll services, bookkeeping services, you know, personal taxes and corporate taxes. Let's have a little more information about it.
Absolutely. So there are thousands of accountants, Sanjeevji. How do you differentiate yourself? Why you find the right accountant? And you simply see for a general person, it's very hard to judge the competence of an accountant. You have to see, can you handle my work? You have to see what's your education. Is it just a CPA, or do you have the MBA in finance, the wealth planning license, the CPA, the 4 years degree in computer? That makes you the whole educated person. So we have the CPAs who are not just the CPA, but they have MBA, they have the wealth planning licenses as well. We have experience. You have to find a CPA who just started the shop, or you have 20, 25, 30 years of experience. So the experience, the education, the strength, the resources. How many offices do you have? How many people you have working for you? So we have 3 offices, 44 accountants. So that differentiates ourselves. We can take care of all the small business need under one roof, where we have the business startup, bookkeeping, payroll, sales tax, annual tax, wealth planning, all under one roof with enough resources to take care of all your small business need.
That actually says a lot
larger
about
accountant
Science CPA
for your small business.
Yes.
At your disposal.
That says a lot about Science CPA services, and that's why, you know, their client says Science CPA services is the best accounting firm that they advise you right away when it comes to any of your taxes, payroll services, bookkeeping services. So do not wait any longer. You need an accountant, and obviously you need to file your taxes rightfully. So do contact them 908-380-6876 or visit their website sciencecpaservices.com. With that note, Mr. AJ, thank you so very much for your time.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for bringing knowledge and wisdom and information in the show, The Business Talk with AJ. I am Sanjeev. Until we meet again, same place, same time. Take care of yourself. Look into your taxes correctly, and so long.
Thank you.